Word on the street is people were getting 7-figure paychecks to come perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Now, if you don't know, there was a comedy festival in Saudi Arabia. They really shelled out. They've hired, the top-notch comedians, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle. They tried to get Shane Gillis. They basically tried to get any and everybody. I think they got Schultz. They got the most famous. They got the cream of the crop. They got the best, and they really shelled out. Word on the street is people were getting 7-figure paychecks to come perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, right? And people are mad. People are mad because this constitutes selling out. So a lot of people in America were mad at the comedians because, well, Saudi Arabia stands accused of, many nefarious things. You have the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. You have the possible links to 9/11. You have a lot of sketchy stuff, and not to mention several human rights violations, like real sexism, not like America sexism, but like real messed up sexism. So this stoning of women on the streets. I don't know if that's Saudi Arabia or like a Taliban thing though. That's just me. Just me taking a swing at something I have no idea about. But I'm guessing it's not unheard of over there. I'm guessing it's done. So anyway, people are upset. For example, look at, I believe this is supposed to be Bill Burr over here. This guy in this political cartoon, someone goes, I have to ask why he said yes to performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And in the cartoon, Bill Burr goes, I will do anything for money. I worship the golden calf of Babylon. I am a liar. I have no morals and am a massive narcissist. I only do comedy because I love money and attention, and now I pretend it's a noble art. This is what he's thinking. It's not what he's saying. And what he says is, well, it's an opportunity to bring comedy to a beautiful new culture. That sort of, I would say, captures the general sentiment towards Bill Burr, specifically Bill Burr. And people are really, really mad at Bill Burr specifically because some time ago, he came at, I believe it was Beyonce and Rihanna, for performing for Gaddafi. I believe it was Gaddafi or Gaddafi's sons.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make? You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? And then you take that fucking blood money. And what he's done, you couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
The Royals loved the show. Everyone was...
So now this is the clip of him talking about doing the show in Saudi Arabia.
Was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. And, it was just this great, positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that was fucking amazing. And the comedians that I've been talking to just saying, like, dude, you can feel it. They wanted it. So it was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
So this is pretty funny. They wanted it. That's kind of what you say about when you're a comedian, when you go and do like a road gig in like fucking in the middle of nowhere in New Hampshire or something, and there's nothing to do there. So everybody comes out to see the show and the laughs are really easy. And you're like, yeah, you can feel it. They really wanted it. So, I mean, if you want to do something for people who really want it, you can go to fucking, I don't know, Worcester. You can go to fucking Chicopee, Massachusetts and do the same thing, Bill. It's pretty damning. It's a damning clip. But it's a damning comparison, rap. For him to go that hard back, I would assume, when was this? 2011. Okay, yeah, so when he was relatively unknown, right? He was, like, back then, he was the counterculture going against, like, Beyonce and Mariah Carey, the lizard people. And now Bill, who is something of a Hollywood darling, he is now closer to the lizard people. He's closer to selling out. So he said all that stuff, and now he seems to be contradicting it. Of course, these are two completely different situations, Gaddafi and Saudi Arabia, but they have a lot of similarities, right? Saudi Arabia is supposedly our ally, but they've done some messed up things. Gillis, for example, let me see if I can find the clip real quick. Gillis said he didn't want to do it because, I mean, he was like, weren't they the guys that didn't do 9/11, dude? He said, weren't they the guys who did 9/11? Let's just see.
Yeah, it was it's tight. They just went to the desert and just...
They were asking me to go to the Middle East soon.
What? Where? Why?
Saudi Arabia and UAE, or Dubai.
Dubai?
I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah. For the troops? Is it for the troops?
Not for the troops.
What?
It's for the Saudis.
For the Saudi princes?
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys?
So I thought.
Oh my god, dude, he said it's so funny. But yeah, those are, well, they're not alone, but they stand accused in conjunction with our own intelligence, Saudi intelligence, our own intelligence, of having something to do with 9/11. And that, you know, is, so for Bill Burr to go to shit on Mariah Carey and Beyonce for, you know, doing shows for people who killed fellow Americans. Like, when you reach a certain tier of richness, like, you give a shit about your conceptual fellow American. You stop. You don't. Even at a middle class level, caring about the concept of a group of people that you're supposed to be attached to is more than, say, making a bag. I don't know. So I think the hypocrisy is super easy to call out here. But unlike a lot of the people who are going at Bill for this, I don't hate that he did this. I think the thing that's the worst about it is that he just isn't being completely honest about the fact that he did it for the money. Too Lazy to Try points this out, and we'll use his video to sort of look at how Bill responded to all this. So basically what happened is he did the festival. Everyone's going in on him specifically because those two clips juxtaposed together are so damning. And Bill responds. I think he's on Conan. I think he's with Conan and some live audience. He tries to play it off as something that he did for sort of for humanitarian reasons. He's doing it because this is how you get freedom of speech there. This is how you get them. This is like a new thing for them. This is like to be able to laugh at new things and to get their culture sort of more into this, like, the Western ethos of freedom, I think is what Bill's trying to say. I'm sure that's his justification in his head, but he kind of doesn't address the elephant in the room about the whole, like, blood money thing. Actually, well, he does, and we'll look at that. Hold on, let's just listen to this.
He really acts like this was some philanthropic work he was doing over there and says it helped progress their country. And of course, never mentions all the money he got paid to go over there by the royal family, and doesn't mention the human rights violations they commit. So it's impossible to take him seriously anymore. I mean, even at one point during this podcast, when he's trying to be serious and talk about how they help progress over there, I'm pretty sure you can hear someone in the crowd laugh at him.
And to their credit, they said, all right, what do we got to do? And they basically whittled it all the way down to you couldn't talk about any religion. Theirs, yours, anybody else's, and you couldn't make fun of the royals. That was it. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, that's fucked up, man. It's like, well, they just progressed the ball like 10 yards, and it was amazing. And we get there, it's like in the round, and I'm waiting to go on, and everybody in the crowd is dressed like fucking Yasser Arafat, right? Listen, what went going on over there was a super positive thing. If you actually give a fuck about those people and how they're living over there, there's going to have to be these types of things to kind of pull them in. And I will tell you, the cheese...
He's not wrong. You know, I imagine there were good things about the festival. I imagine joking and laughing about, if they could say literally anything other than religion and the royals. Maybe they could joke about, you know, they probably did make jokes about the racism and sexism of Saudi Arabia. They probably did laugh at themselves. So he's not entirely wrong. He's not lying. But to frame it as like, this is why I did it, which I'm not sure that that's necessarily what he's framing it as. But if he is, then that's I think a little deceptive.
Cake factory in Riyadh, man. It's incredible. It's right next to the Pizza Hut and the KFC. And if you want a pair of Timberlands, it's across the street next to the Marriott, catty corner to the fucking Hilton. Like, things like this have to happen in order to gradually, like, progress. And then, you know, it was necessary.
Progress it to where? Like, is to America standards, you know? I don't know. It's not like we're the bastion of... I think increasingly we're understanding that we're not the bastion of even free speech. I mean, as we want to be, and we are more than other countries, but there are flaws here too. But I think I see what he's saying. But it's just, the elephant in the room is that he got to pay a lot of money, and it's blood money. It's sort of blood money. But here's his justification for that. And I actually think it's kind of an unassailable. I thought he was going to say this, and I think it's kind of an unassailable justification here. Here, let's listen to it.
Did you have an inkling before you went to Riyadh? Did you or the other comedians have any sense that there'd be this kind of response when you got back?
No, I had no fucking idea. Because you know what was funny? One time I did Abu Dhabi. And one person texts me, oh, you're going over there to get that blood money, right? And I go, hey, you know, just for the record, I'm also doing London, England on that tour, you know, which is arguably the bloodiest fucking money out there. So there's like that element of racism to it where if brown people are doing it, it's fucked up. If white people are doing it, whoa, what are you talking about? You know,
making it about the racism is pretty sneaky. I don't think... you know, maybe there is an element of racism there. But the point he's making here is kind of unassailable. And it's that pretty much anything you do to make a big bag is most likely going to be tethered to some sort of evil, right? It's not just Saudi Arabian royals' money, right? It's fucking... Forget being a comedian. If you work for a corporation, that corporation is probably doing something fucked up. If you buy an iPhone, it was made by a kid in China. If you live in America and you just be a part of America, if you just function within the system of America and how America sort of amasses goods and wealth and everything that we do, every part of consumer capitalism, every time you buy a thing, you participate in a system that, and a hierarchization that makes poor kids, starving kids in parts of the world, that disenfranchises and makes people just not well off and varying degrees of just shitty war-torn countries. It just makes the system makes it so. So by participating in it, by buying things, by living in it, by doing anything, you're participating in it too. And on some level, when we get mad at Burr for being, you know, doing, you know, selling out, we're just mad that he got a big bag. And I get that. It's kind of an unassailable point that he's making here, because when you zoom out that much, that's just true. That's just true that we all are. But the point here, I think that's much more salient than just, hey, Burr, you sold out. Because then, like I'm saying, you could make that point about literally anything that you do for money. Literally anything. The bigger the bag, the more you're probably selling out, right? Like, everybody criticizing him has some sort of either a corporate job or something that they're doing that is participating in making somebody poor or dead or separating the family unit or something fucked up, right? That's just unfortunately the way of the world. But over and above that, though, is that I would say, while I think it's harder to critique him on that level because of what the point that he's bringing up here, which is like, well, I did a gig in fucking London, and the only way I could not have money that's really blood money is to go perform in Iceland or New Zealand, which also not true. I'm sure they have their levels, like things that they've done that are fucked up. But the point that is more salient in criticizing Bill is that it's the hypocrisy. I love criticizing the hypocrisy, because you can always criticize a double standard. But even then, if I'm him, I'm gonna checkmate you by going, that fuck it, I'm a hypocrite. But that's the big thing here, and I think what people want him to respond to more than anything else is the hypocrisy of having criticized, you know, lizard people like Mariah Carey and Beyonce of hypocrisy, and then now that he's a lizard person doing the same thing. But at the end of the day, too, if you're the one criticizing him, you know, it's kind of just your fault for believing in a celebrity. I mean, he's just a human. He's just a human, and the more money he makes, the more he becomes closer to them than us. And, you know, everyone's got a price tag. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't have a sellout price tag, and it's a lot lower than Bill's probably, because I have less. I have less than he does.
Almost like sports. So, yeah, my team doesn't cheat. Your fucking team cheats. So, I mean, if we're going to do the blood money game, I think the only countries I've ever played in that is clean money was New Zealand and I think Iceland. But then Iceland is...
Yeah, so if you're going to do a blood money game, and I knew that was going to be his justification. If we do the blood money game, everywhere in the West you could make an argument that they're as bad or worse. And that's true. And that is True. However, you do have to draw lines for yourself, which is why it's cool to see that Shane drew a line. He's probably got more money than Burr at this point. But, still, it is cool to see people draw lines. Like, for example, Candace Owens, her husband's worth like $240 million. It's still cool to see her go no when Brigitte Macron asks her to stop talking about her dick for $7 million or whatever it is that she tried to buy her out with. And the truth is that it's not that big of a... To Candace, that's like for a normal person being offered like, I don't know, 10 grand to sell out, or if you offer a homeless person like $200. But yeah, it's not that she's got $240 million. She's fine. She'll be fine. It's not like it's that big of a deal, but it's still nice. It's still nice. It's just cool. It's still cool to see someone have morals, stand up for their morals. And I think people are bummed that Bill Burr didn't do that in this instance. By the way, if you know anything about Bill Burr, you know that the more that people want him to apologize for this or say he did it for the money, the more that you want him to say a thing, the more he's gonna dig his heels in and not say that thing. So good luck getting either an apology for him. Definitely good luck getting that. But even more so, I would say good luck getting him to admit that he did it just for the money. For more big news for the unemployed, subscribe.